Hello, everybody. We are going to try something different today. I am just going to speak to you, and instead of like typically it's a voiceover and you see me like working through my house, but today I'm just going to try and talk to the camera. Now, I'm not wearing a microphone or anything, so hopefully I sound okay, and hopefully you don't hear the kids too much. I just heard Grayson. They're gonna be yelling and playing because it's almost bedtime, so we're pretty hyper right before bedtime. Today we are going to talk about two different terms that are really important for you to understand. They are margin and deficit. They affect your home in really significant ways, but we're not always aware of what they are. So we're going to talk about those. Before we get into it though, I wanted to share something kind of fun. So this right here is my book. I don't know if you know, but I've signed with a publisher and I've been writing a book. I have to be done writing it by the end of October, but it doesn't get published to the public until January of 2028. Because after I finish writing the manuscript, I then have to give it to the publisher and they're going to, format it, and we'll add in all the graphics and everything at that point, do the cover, all that stuff. So anyways, very exciting. This is it. So far, I have more to add to it. I have every chapter done but the first one. So this is chapters 2 through 14 right here. So exciting. Oh my gosh, this is a dream come true for me. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, let's get into it. Have you ever had a day where your child spilled a glass of milk and it felt like a disaster? I have. When my oldest two were little, so my oldest is almost 14 and my middle child, my second, is 10. And so when they were about 7 and 3, I had come home from work. My husband was working second shift then. So I brought the kids home, I picked them up from daycare. We come home, I'm tired, and I don't know, I maybe went to my room to change. They were in the kitchen and they had got out a big box of cheese nips and they had spilled them all over the floor. They were trampling them, creating so many crumbs, just trying to eat them before I came back in the room. It was an awful feeling because if you were anything like I was back then, it was just one more thing and I couldn't handle another thing that day. That's because I was operating at zero margin and my house was running in a deep, painful deficit. We're going to talk about two terms that you may not be familiar with. The first one is margin. I absolutely love this term. The first time I had ever heard it, I wasn't reading a business book. I wasn't reading Martha Stewart Living. I was actually sitting in church and my pastor said it. I am going to include a little snippet of the sermon where my pastor was talking about margin. I think it's really helpful for all of us to understand. When he said it, it's like something clicked. And while I had done the work to give myself margin at home, I never had a name for it. I couldn't place a name to it and I couldn't explain it to other people. So first, had I had margin when I was a younger mom, I'm an older mom now, I'm 36 and I'm expecting my fourth. So I've lived a lot of life since the cheese nip incident. But had I known that then, things would have been so different. And just being able to express it and, speak it eloquently to you is just, it was the Lord gives you what you need when you need it. And that, I needed to hear that when he talked about that. So I'm going to put in a little snippet here.
And so as you think about that, I want to ask you this question next to love. That word margin. Do you have margin in your life? When the Lord shows up and says, feed my sheep, do you have margin to do that? I want to ask you, in your head, do you have margin for that? In your lifestyle, do you have margin for that? Looking at your life financially, do you have financial margin so that you can meet needs of others, that feed the sheep so that people can know the very love of God? Do you have scheduling margin? Do you have relational margin? When your neighbor shows up to you and starts to want to have a conversation, is there margin in your schedule to say, I can be present where my feet are planted with this person and be the very love of God to them and with them? I want to ask you emotionally. Have you created margin emotionally, a capacity of emotion where when somebody needs to take you to a deep place in the ache of their soul, that you have the emotional capacity to go there and not be shattered yourself? Physically, have you created margin? Spiritually, have you created margin to love people like Christ has loved you? Because you can say, and I can say, that we love God, but Jesus is looking us square in the eyes and saying, feed my sheep. That's what people of hope do. That's what people of peace do. That's what people of joy do. And so as you think through those things, as you plan out your 2026 and start giving the Lord space and margin to work with, I want you to know that the church wants to come alongside of you.
That hit me like a ton of bricks. This is exactly how I used to operate, with zero margin. If a friend called me in a crisis, I probably couldn't help because my schedule was full. If someone needed a meal, it was going to be a pretty big deal for me because my kitchen was chaos. It needed to be cleaned. And so many of us live that way. I'm going to give you an illustration, if you will. Let's think of this from an engineering perspective. Think about a bridge, and let's say that bridge can hold 10,000 pounds. Now, if you are the structural engineers, are you going to build the bridge to hold 10,000 pounds? No. You're going to design that bridge to hold 15,000 pounds or maybe 20,000 pounds. That's margin. Margin is the space between your workload and your capacity. Right there. I'm going to put in an illustration, a little video here that I had done a few months back. Take a look at this glass. It is full to the brim. So if it gets nudged even the smallest amount, it could be the smallest thing, right? It's going to spill water. That's how we're living our life when we don't have margin. The smallest thing is going to create a mess. If you are living your life with zero margin, then that means you expect every day is going to run perfectly, totally smooth. You are banking that no one's going to get sick, no milk spills, no cheese nip catastrophe. Your toddler's going to cooperate perfectly. You have so much energy. In traffic, you're going to hit all the green lights, and everyone's schedule runs exactly on time. How often does that happen? Never. When was the last time you had a perfect day? Real life is messy. Kids get sick. Milk gets spilled. Piles of mail accumulate. Energy levels drop. And if you don't have margin built into your systems to deal with it, your home is going to break down. The bridge collapses. You snap at your husband. You're irritable with your children. You're anxious. You feel like a failure. So, what does it look like to practically give yourself a buffer? How do we actually build margin into our day? Let's take a look at some real life examples. Let's say, and actually, if you follow me on my social medias, other than this one where I post stories, you probably would have seen over the weekend, I tackled a really big to-do list. So you might know where this is going. But let's say you take a Saturday and you're going to declutter your closet, okay? Or you're going to deep clean your kids' room. When you first start, your energy is high. You're pulling things out, you're making all kinds of messes, but you are motivated. But 3 hours in, 2 hours in, 5 hours in, whatever it is, you start to feel physical and or mental fatigue setting in. Your body is starting to tell you, okay, we've hit our limit. This is the exact moment when you stop. You don't push it to 100%. You stop when you're at like 80% capacity. Why? Because you need to reserve that extra 20% to like tidy up your supplies, gather the clothes off the bed and move them, back to the closet. In my case, over the weekend, when I posted on my stories, I was doing a huge to-do list. So that was my focus for the day. I hadn't done anything around the house. Well, it was about time to go to bed and my house needed reset. The living room needed tidied up. I needed to make sure that the dishes had gotten all to the dishwasher. So there was a few things. It took me about 30 more minutes to just reset the house. And I was fine to do that because I had stopped knowing I needed that 30 minutes, knowing I needed that buffer. If you are operating at zero margin, if you push yourself to the absolute limit, then everything else gets pushed off till tomorrow. So then tomorrow comes, you wake up to yesterday's mess, and at that point, you're already starting the new day in a deficit. You have to protect your margin. Okay, now let's go into our second term for the day, which is the deficit I just referred to. These two terms go hand in hand. To understand deficit, you really need to understand my CEO mentality. I've talked about it before. I will try to link the video because I made a long form video on it. I'll try to link that in the description box for you. But basically, you need to have this mentality that you are the CEO of your home. Your home is your business, okay? It doesn't matter if you are a stay-at-home mom or if you're working 60 hours a week outside the home. You are the CEO of home, and it's your job to protect your home's bottom line. In your home, though, the bottom line isn't money. The bottom line is your time. When you procrastinate on daily tasks like putting shoes away, leaving the mail on the kitchen counter, leaving dirty dishes in the sink overnight, you are stealing from your own company. You're draining your margin, and when the margin's gone, you're in a deficit. And as CEO of your home, running in a deficit should be a sobering thought. If a corporate CEO finds out that their company is in a deficit, they're losing sleep. They're having talks with managers. They're analyzing the numbers. They're figuring out where the bleeding is coming from. So what makes us think that as CEOs of our home, that it's okay if we operate in that deficit? It's the exact same thing. When you leave the dishes in the sink after dinner, or you sit down on the couch to watch TV instead of folding that laundry, and you tell yourself, oh, I'm practicing self-care. Like, I need this, I'll take care of it later. You're not resting, and it's not self-care. All you're doing is sabotaging your peace. You're taking a high interest loan out on your future. Your mental health starts to suffer. And if you think, oh, just leaving the dirty dishes, it's just 10 more minutes of my day tomorrow, like that's fine. That's 10 minutes of peace that you're giving up. 10 minutes that you could do a slow wake up. It costs you patience that you should have had with your children. It costs you the quiet time you wanted to spend with the Lord. I know I'm not the only one here that struggles with this. Sadly, my prayer, my meditation time with the Lord in the morning is the first thing to be on the chopping block when I've got too much going on. A business cannot sustain a long-term deficit, and neither can your home. As Christian women, we're not just taking care of our homes so that other people see we have a tidy home. We're stewards. We're stewards of God's blessing. We're taking care of it for Him. If you're running your house in a constant deficit, then that means you never leave survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with other people's stuff. You just don't. So that is our video today. We talked about margin. We talked about deficit. I hope that makes sense to you. Hopefully it's like one of those aha moments, right? If this video helped you, please leave me a comment. If you have an additional question or concerns or whatever about these topics, please let me know. Are you excited about the book? Is there anything you're hoping I'm including in it? I am going to do some Q&As on the book as I finish it up, just to make sure I've covered everything. But like I said, please comment, like this video, and I will see you all in our next video.